What up, good people? This your boy Artwork Geo. As you see in the title, doing this video based on getting started. It's a tough thing for most of us for a lot of different reasons, but it's the best thing you can do. Getting started, man, on any idea, any concept, or whatever it is you want to do in life. Getting started is like usually the hardest part because there's a large percentage of people, and I probably should have did some research before I did the video, but whatever. There's a large percentage of people. I know this for fact. There's a large percentage of people that only have ideas. Now, when I say that, I'm speaking to the ones who will give you the coldest idea, will give you like the best concept of something that you ever heard, right? But that's as far as they can go. I don't care what it is. It can be literally anything in this world. They can give you a dope idea, like the idea on point, right? But when it comes to the all right, so like how we going? Oh well, look that. But you know what though? What's crazy about that is those people they would do great on a team, right? But when we talk about the individual, which most of us, you know, what I'm saying, unless you got a team, a solid group of people that's really behind you, and they, one person might be good at this, next person got whatever they good at. That's one thing. That's a collective, like-minded people, to some degree, working towards a common goal. Excuse me. But as an individual, though, for the most part, man, like there's a large amount of people that just know how to have ideas. And that's the most scariest thing to be like, or to, be in that position. Like I have fell victim to being just the idea person, having the best ideas, being creative, dealing with the struggles of having one idea do better than the next idea in your mind. So then you start that idea, never finish the first one, move on to a new idea the next day, even though you just replaced the idea before that was with this other idea you just canceled out. It gets bad. And so I could say that there is a large percentage of people that just never get started with things, no matter what it is, even getting started on the dishes. Like, who wants to do that, right? But just day to day mundane tasks that we put off, we procrastinate, you know what I'm saying? And I know, man, I had to take a little quick break, man. I just dropped my mic, so I had to edit that real quick. But anyway, we tend to put things off. A lot of us procrastinate. We rather do it later. And it is what it is. That's just how I go. But when you put your mind to something, that's what you want to do. Sometimes, sometimes you have to understand that you're gonna have those moments where it just don't sound like anything you want to do. You couldn't imagine doing it, but make a conscious decision that, hey, you know what? I still have to do this. This got to get done because without me taking care of this, I can't take care of that. So you have to focus on the bigger picture in the sense that, okay, I got to make sure I'm doing what I got to do now, because if I don't, I ain't going to do this bigger thing that I said I was going to do that really matters to me. See, our mind gets so caught up on it got to be comfortable. I got to enjoy it. It got to be what I want to do. I'm struggling to get to the point to want to do something. See, we think that we got to get motivated to do something. That ain't where you put the the focus in. Like, I hate to say it, but like these motivational speakers, like they're trying to pour into your motivation. You want somebody to pour into your discipline, because that's when you can do the things that you don't want to do, that most people put off. You want to try to be the person that's willing to do those things, or to find something in those things to where you don't even see it the way other people see it. So getting started on anything when it's a task that, whether it's a mundane, boring task or it's an extremely vital, important, boring task, you treat them all the same, especially if you're a person that's like, man, get the hard stuff done first. That's kind of how I rather move. I hate doing the easy stuff and then got something hard waiting on me, pause, but just got something that I don't feel like doing waiting on me at the end. You know what I'm saying? I really don't want to deal with that. So for the most part, my approach to it is let's get the hard stuff done first. Pause. And once I get that out the way, I can move a little better. You know what I'm saying? I can be able to say, well, all the like challenging things that were, probably the most challenging I put at the top of the list, got that out the way. Now I could move and get the rest of this done with no issues, or less of a challenge. So I just kind of want to, tap in on that, man. Let you guys know, like, ultimately, you got to get started because it's not going to be overnight. So knowing these things, you got to get the process started. Like I said, the paint got to dry. So because the paint got to dry, you need to give it time to dry. Without that time given to allow it to dry properly and cure and do what it's supposed to do, the end result won't be right. It's not going to be sustainable. So I just feel like, man, I have started, I've stopped, I've started, I've stopped, right? But ultimately, the most important thing was my initial start because I can say, regardless of the outcome of whatever, I've given things my focus and been able to lock in on certain things enough to get it started, put action behind it, and for whatever reason, wasn't able to be consistent, which is a whole nother video. I do want to definitely talk about consistency and what it mean to be that type of individual. But yeah, when you starting and stopping, that's definitely a bad way to move. Being consistent is definitely going to get you there, but to be a person that at least learn from, what, okay, let me start analyzing what made me stop. You know what I'm saying? Okay, I'm learning. I'm learning in the process. You start to open yourself up for the ability to do better in a lot of different categories because now you able to see, what you strong in and what maybe needs some work, or okay, this looked cool on paper, but now that I'm putting action behind it, this need to be tightened up a little bit. You start to be able to figure all of that out. You can decipher it a whole lot better. So, I just encourage you, man, like getting started to see, even just your elevation, like to go from where you at now and then like 6 months, see where you go and see that improvement. You know what I'm saying? Like, why wouldn't you be proud of that? Like, people would actually respect and appreciate that, and you would inspire and add value to people's lives by taking care of your own. And that could be anything. Most of us are turning things around. Like, I'm gonna make that clear. I'm not speaking to the squeaky clean. Life has been easy and great. You know what I'm saying? This ain't for you. Like, what I'm doing is not for everybody. I'm not speaking to them people. I'm speaking to the ones that then got a little dirt on them. You know what I'm saying? That done been through a little something in terms of just life and not playing fair with them sometimes. And see, that's a lot of us. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like I respect all levels of that. If you just know what adversity feel like, if you feel like in a room full of people, but you still by yourself, and you realize you're not around like-minded people, so you just want to keep, again, that inner peace, that strong mental capability, and be able to like deal with whatever's in front of you. I'm speaking to you, and it's resources out here, and it's things that don't require a whole lot of finances and a whole lot of your time. So that's eliminating some of those common excuses that we like to throw out there. Oh man, I just wish I had the money for all that. Or man, I ain't got time for all that, man. I work all day. I can't, do this or do that. Like, there's ways. We got technology. Like, if you want something bad enough, you gonna make a way, right? So these are all the things that, I feel like once it's all in this one location, like a hub, and we can come and get this content a certain way, and it be, clear that it's coming to you, the way that I'm saying it, and y'all know that it's a community and people in the comments, swapping ideas and we can do all of that. You know what I'm saying? That's the goal. But again, I had to get started. I had to get started with this. I got to be consistent. Again, I'm going to do a separate video on the consistent side, what that means and where I'm coming from with that. And we all know what being consistent mean. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying like, I'm introducing you to a new word or something, but it's just sometimes the perspective that someone may see something in helps you understand it better, or feel like, okay, I'm not by myself with that. They see it the way I see it. So that's what we doing over here. If you feel like this is like-minded energy and you can respect and appreciate, you know what I'm saying, the approach that, this channel is taking on these topics, then come rock with us, man. There's certain habits, relatable habits I want to talk about, not always necessarily something negative or self improvement based, but it all overall I feel is therapy, a form of like a resource, again, for like information you probably could find other places, or I know you can, but it's packaged different. You know what I'm saying? And that's all this content. Everything is the same information, but it's packaged in the way that it's packaged, and it speaks to people differently depending on who's presenting the information. So I'm gonna end it there. Definitely plan on being consistent with y'all. So appreciate you like, commenting, and subscribing, and I'll get with y'all. It's work.